Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be interviewing Dr. Michell Holland from vitalityhealthinc.org in San Diego. Vitality Health has over 30 years of experience assisting the injured, working with injury victims, attorneys, and doctors. Dr. Mitch, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Seth. Very exciting to meet, excited to be speaking with you today. Thank you for inviting me.
Our pleasure. So let's go back in time a little bit. How did Vitality Health get started?
So the personal question for me is, how do I make the world a better place? And how do I use my skill set to do that? Vitality Health is a very unique company. We're a mission-based national service organization, and our sole purpose is just to support injury victims. And the message today for you and your listeners is that injury victims, their supporters, their attorneys, their healthcare providers, they are not alone. Personally, I was a medical evaluator. I was a treating doctor in industrial medicine. I also have a financial background. I have association with some law firms. So we've created a fusion at Vitality Health between treatment needs, financial and legal support for the injured, and for your attorney firms that are listening, we'd love to add them to the list. So when you invited me, I asked myself, how do I provide words of encouragement, advice, or add some value for your listeners? And you can't really demonstrate or experience the rewards of being on the injury side of the equation unless you speak to somebody whose life has been changed. We get calls from clients that we've helped who are in very, very desperate situations. They're fighting the big fight every day against very large corporations, very expensive lawyers. And a lot of cases, they have to settle. If they have a case against someone, they have to settle because it's too expensive to litigate. They can't afford to stay in the case. And I'm sure you've probably heard that. I've listened to a bunch of your podcasts from lawyers, and a lot of them representing the injury victim. And it looks like they're always trying to find a way to level the playing field because these injury victims are at such a great disadvantage to these large corporate interests. So it's David and Goliath every day. I'm on the David side, trying to find different ways to support the injury victim. So the big question is, why do so many cases settle? And, what have your attorneys told you, Seth? What do they tell you the percentage of cases that settle are?
It's pretty high.
Right? So, and we do find out it's a tough process to get through under any circumstances, to get through the legal process, but it's even harder if you don't have resources and you're going up against a very well-funded, opponent. And this is why I think a lot of cases settle, because the victim and their lawyers and their doctors don't have the wherewithal to wait to get paid. They don't have the expertise. So our firm was set up specifically to provide solutions to these problems.
You have a very interesting background. How did the initial idea come about? Talk about the inception of the concept.
Well, my background's, as a medical evaluator for the state. And I like helping people. This is expertise that I have. I also have financial expertise. So, I was asked by law firm to consult on cases as an expert to try to figure out, I can look at the standards of care, figure out if clients are getting the care that they need, figure out if the damages that they have, if they need lifetime care, if they need future medical, typical economic analysis, and also medical analysis. It's called medical life care planning. What it is it's when a doctor, has experience in the financial and also on the medical side and could provide some opinion as to what's needed. So I was asked to consult on some cases, and then with my financial background, I had backers that wanted to provide capital to us to capitalize cases by providing funding to injury victims for living expenses, paying for the medical if the medical provider couldn't wait to get paid, providing litigation expenses. One of the things we actually do, besides providing expertise, is we'll actually finance the medical expert for the lawyer. Most medical experts will not wait to get paid. They want to get paid right now. So lawyers, sometimes they come out of the pockets in the seven figures, literally the millions of dollars. We work with a large law firm in LA that specializes in brain injury cases, and they were coming out, millions of dollars to pay for experts to move their cases along. So all these things kind of came together. My experience is financial, legal, and medical. So for me, it was a very natural fit, and every day I get to help people. So that's the genesis of this company.
You talked about helping fund litigation or helping fund the experts necessary. Where does that money come from? Do you have investors who put that money up? How does that work?
Yeah, for lack of a better word, we're like a family office. We have a large pool of capital that's been pledged that allows us to do these things. That will finance cases. Let me break it down just a little bit more.
Please.
We have the time. So we have 4 key areas of support for an injury victim. For the victim themselves, we can help them with living expenses, provide referrals to doctors or lawyers, and also provide expertise to see if they're getting what they're supposed to. For the medical side, when we have a doctor that accepts personal injury, work comp, medical malpractice cases, in most cases, those doctors are taking liens or letters of protection, which is kind of an IOU, and they can't get paid for 6 months to 5 years until the case settles. So we add them to our network so we can provide referrals. We provide advanced capital. We'll give them funding against their accounts receivable, even if it's very large. We can also provide procedural funding for them. So as clients come through the door, they know they're guaranteed a certain amount of money. My company will take the risk and will basically accept the lien or the IOU, and we'll make sure that these medical doctors and healthcare providers, that they can stay in business. And during the pandemic, this was a very big deal because, there was so many restrictions that were placed on healthcare providers. So it was tough enough. And then, if you add cash flow problems to that, we want to encourage healthcare providers to do these kind of services, right? To be able to treat injury victims that don't have money to pay for their care. We don't want them to just say, I can't do it because as a medical provider, I can't afford it. And there are actually national companies that provide national service that do this, that we participate in, that are very exciting to encourage a company to say, hey, have you considered doing personal injury, working with injury clients? We can provide a vehicle so that you can afford to do that. That's the medical side. On the legal side, when we work with an attorney, we add them to our network as well. And we can provide them, like I said, with experts, pay for those experts, money for litigation expenses. And when we say injuries, it's not just client injuries. It can actually be a financial injury. It could be a commercial case. If there's litigation involved and the attorney is at a disadvantage, we can come in and partner up with them to cover litigation expenses, provide experts, and also to provide us with the opportunity to network with our national network. The last thing that we do is partnership and agent opportunities. Anybody that has a financial background or a legal sales background, medical sales, is connected to companies or is a company or is an attorney or is a medical provider, right? We want to expand our network. I'm a big believer in the mastermind concept that together we do things we would never do on our own. And I want to encourage people listening to, there's opportunities to participate with us. It's very, very rewarding. We have a very big umbrella. And so there's this partnership and agent aspect to our company to encourage people. There's over 1 million businesses in the U.S. involved in support of the injured: doctors, lawyers, suppliers, experts, financial, medical, legal salespeople. It's monstrous. It requires a lot of support. We need all hands on deck. We're fighting against, major companies that can hire lawyers and pay them $1,800 an hour. Obviously somebody who's injured in Target or a steel worker or, somebody who's is in a major car accident, he can't work. He's at an extreme disadvantage. So we want to partner up with them and their supporters so that they can get what they need to be able to, get their just compensation, if not their day in court. By the way, we never charge an injury victim, and we don't charge doctors and lawyers. All our consultation is done completely complimentary, and we never hold an injury victim responsible for any of the fees. If for any reason they have any problems, the case turns out to be no good, our advances on the capital side are completely non-recourse. So there's no disadvantage to them using us, and a tremendous advantage for them to engage with us.
How do they find you?
Most of our clients are by referral, but an internet search for Vitality Health in San Diego will bring up my website.
Right, but they would have to know to, like, for example, I've never heard of anyone doing what you do. It's phenomenal. That's why I wanted to interview you. So, but the average, I'm assuming, personal injury victim would have no idea to even go look for you because they wouldn't know you exist. So right, you've got to have a large referral network of both attorneys and physicians to send their clients and patients to you, right?
We do, but it's a very massive industry. I mean, we help who we can. We're nationwide, which is unusual. There are small firms doing things in pockets across the country, but our goal is to build our network. So virtually everything we do is by networking. Now I've connected to you and your listeners, and we will participate with them and attorneys and doctors and medical salespeople. Actually, people in the field that work in medical sales, we get a lot of referrals from them, and we compensate them if they become agents of our company, so they can participate with us financially as well as in other ways.
In a ballpark type of range, how many attorneys are part of your referral network?
Yeah, it's different in different parts of the country.
I mean, nationwide. I mean, are we talking hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands?
No, it's nothing like that. No, it's less than 100. No, it's not that. And a lot of them are specialists. I have firms that do special stuff. So let's talk about case type just for a minute.
Yeah,
right?
please.
So personal injury is when someone is in a car accident or a slip and fall. Something happened where there might be a third party at fault for an injury that happens to you. A box fell on someone in a department store. That's a personal injury case. Workman's comp is when somebody's injured either at work or in the course of employment. They may be driving somewhere to pick something up for the company, and that's workman's comp. Medical malpractice is when somebody's injured during a healthcare procedure. A mass tort is when there might be a product issue, a bad medicine. The hernia mesh case was very big. Johnson & Johnson Baby Powder. These are massive cases where large groups of people are injured, and those are called mass torts. There's also class action suits where there's a very specific type of a defect that a large bunch of people across the country may be subject to. And then, as I mentioned, there's also commercial cases where somebody was wronged because maybe they didn't get paid. Happens a lot, especially with, high-level executives. These are all the types of cases. And so we have specialists. A lot of our lawyers do special stuff. I have a firm in LA. All they do is brain injury and mold cases. They're the national expert in mold. I have a lawyer in Florida that does a lot of mass tort and class action. I have an attorney in Maryland that only does tort cases, mesh injury, surgical device problems. That's all they do. So the answer is, there's a lot of room for expansion, especially for attorneys that specialize. We'd love to send them clients and network with them, use them as experts, and, hopefully refer clients to them, and they can refer clients to us, and everybody can win.
How do you get the word out about the amazing work that you're doing?
Like I said, we're word of mouth. I don't do any types of mass advertising. We hold seminars and we speak to large groups of lawyers and medical doctors. One of the ways we do that is we work with large service organizations in the medical field, continuing ed providers, expert organizations that provide medical experts. And there are, like I mentioned, funding and medical sales organizations. And usually they have connections to hundreds, if not thousands, of medical offices or hundreds of law offices that they are connected to. And so we try to partner up with them to give our message to their people. And that's our primary source of messaging, is that we partner up with large organizations that already have connections to hundreds, if not thousands, of potential people in the industry. So it's the brand ambassador concept or influencer concept, which is that if you already know hundreds or thousands of people, we would love to provide service to those people and have you spread the message for us. So that's the way we do it.
That works. I mean, you built a fascinating business doing amazing work, helping people. We greatly appreciate your time. We know it's incredibly valuable. Anything else you want to share that I haven't thought to ask you yet?
That's pretty much it. I just want to encourage anyone with an interest in working with us, attorneys, providers, experts, part of salespeople, please reach out to us. We're on the internet, Vitality Health San Diego. They can call us, 619-363-1195. But please don't hesitate to reach out, especially if you know somebody that's in trouble or struggling. Happy to provide resources to them at no charge. And, hopefully by doing that, we help people and we grow and spread the message and help people that are at a tremendous disadvantage on a daily basis.
All right. Well, we greatly appreciate your time. Thank you, Dr. Mitch, for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for watching or listening. We will talk to you or see you next time.
Thank you, Seth.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level, but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.